Hare Krishna. So many times devotees ask this question that how should we prepare our consciousness before we start chanting? So we can do a lot of things. But one of the important things that many devotees do is chanting some slokas from these bona fide scriptures like Bhagavad-gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and so on. So what happens when we chant the slokas of these scriptures? First and foremost, these scriptures are not ordinary. They are called as Krishna Katha. One is Katha by Krishna, that is Bhagavad-gita. And the second one is Krishna Katha, that is Katha of Krishna and his devotees. So that is Krishna Katha, Srimad Bhagavatam. So, directly spoken by Krishna and directly spoken about Krishna, and that too penned down directly by Krishna. Just imagine the power of these slokas. And there are so many different prayers which various great devotees have offered in Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And these are not ordinary devotees. They all have pleased Krishna to such an extent that Krishna has taken them back home, back to God, to Vaikuntha, and engaged them in his eternal service. So they are not ordinary. And at the same time, we need to understand that prayers are also not ordinary. Very great. Very great. So therefore, when we are chanting these slokas, these Sanskrit slokas, what happens is, firstly, we are repeating the words of those devotees from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Chaitanya Charitamrita, or directly repeating the words of the Lord from Bhagavad-gita. These slokas are already very purifying. So when we chant these slokas, first and foremost thing that takes place or that happens is our consciousness gets purified. And secondly, when we meditate on the meaning, just by chanting Sanskrit shlokas, our consciousness gets purified. And the second thing is, when we meditate on the meaning, we imbibe the mood of those shlokas. Therefore, while taking bath and getting ready in Vaishnava attire to sit and chant, there should be some shlokas which we have memorized. We should keep repeating those shlokas and meditate on the meaning. This is one of the best ways to prepare one's consciousness. And there are a set of prayers given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called Chaitanya Shikshastakam. If we can memorize those 8 shlokas and chant those shlokas before we begin chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that will be very effective. So therefore, this is a very wonderful way to prepare one's consciousness. So today, before we start chanting, whatever shlokas we know from Bhagavad-gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, whichever shloka is dear to our heart, let's chant that shloka. And the mood is this, that the shloka itself is purifying, and the contents of the shloka, if we meditate on, that will help us to imbibe the mood of the shloka and begin our chanting for the pleasure of the Lord. So in this way, every devotee should have habit of picking up these treasures given in Bhagavad-gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita and other scriptures, and make those treasures as life and soul by memorizing them, by meditating on them. And every day, recitation of those shlokas will help us to prepare our consciousness, and our chanting will be very attentive and quality. So let's begin our chanting today by chanting some wonderful shlokas from these scriptures. Hare Krishna.